It's your girl, the Grownwomangamer, and today I'm coming at you with another fire commentary. You know what to do. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, comment whether you agree with me or not, and don't forget to share if you care. Today we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Lakers. I've avoided making this video because I've been watching what's happening, and God knows it's been a roller coaster. You know, most people can see clearly that the Lakers are struggling immensely this year, especially on defense. And there are so many inconsistencies and holes in their defense and their offense. And it's hard to imagine that even if they got into the play-in tournament by the skin of their teeth, that they would be able to win in the play-in tournament, secure the 8th spot, and then do anything noteworthy against the Phoenix Suns. So people are asking lots of questions. The biggest one on everyone's mind is, will the Lakers even make it into the play-in tournament? Right now, they are doing a back and forth with the San Antonio Spurs. If the Spurs win a game and the Lakers win a game or lose a game, they're just kind of trading places between the 10th and the 11th spot. And last night was a very close call. The Spurs played the Memphis Grizzlies and lost barely by 1 point on a missed layup that looked like it had a very good chance of going in the basket. And of course, we have to note that LeBron James is injured. They're not really making a big deal out of it, but frankly, although he was able to finish that last game in New Orleans, the injury looked pretty bad. When his ankle turned over, it didn't look good. I know that had to be painful. The fact that he finished the game is a testament to how durable he is, but him not playing in the following game against the Mavericks, and I think he's not going to be playing tonight against the Jazz, is a wise decision. I'm of the opinion that yes, if you can push through an injury and play and be okay, great. But for players that are older who are still impactful, and for players that are very young like James Wiseman or Zion, having them play on injury is really detrimental to their long-term ability to continue to be productive and successful, especially for players as young as James Wiseman and Zion, who may still be growing, for example. And for LeBron, he's 37 years old, and if he hurts himself really badly, it could impact his ability to achieve the long-term career goals that he still has. So him not playing, I don't have any problem with it, and I don't question that he's hurt, because I saw with my own eyes how his ankle turned, and even though he was able to play, maybe it was the adrenaline, but you know what happens when you go to sleep that following night, you wake up the next day, that's when you really start to feel it, and that inflammation kicks in. But I don't know, you know, they don't have Anthony Davis. They keep kind of flirting around with the idea of having him play in these next few games to see if they can make a run for that 10th spot and make it into the play-in tournament. But I'll be honest with you guys, I really don't have a lot of confidence that the Lakers are going to even make it into the play-in tournament. I think it could go either way. If we're looking just at the lineup of games that they have coming up, it's really in the Spurs' favor, because I think they play Houston. They might have played Houston already, but they play Portland twice. Their particular schedule is not very challenging, but the Lakers have one of the more challenging schedules. It's a coin flip or coin toss at this point, so I don't know. If I were to be a guessing woman, my money would be on the Spurs if I'm not using any type of emotion. If I do use emotion, I will say this. If LeBron James can make it back this week, they have a chance. But it is another big question. If they do make it, what's the point? Because I don't see any way, shape, or form that the Lakers can beat the Phoenix Suns even with LeBron, AD, and Russell Westbrook hitting on all cylinders. Because on the defensive end, the Phoenix Suns, with the level of movement they have in their offense, there is no way that the Lakers, playing the style of basketball that they rely on, will win. I'm sorry. That defense is just not there. And the last game I saw, I'm just going to talk about this briefly, where Russell Westbrook was playing with, everybody else that they have on the team. It was embarrassing. I mean, they were not playing any defense. It looked like they were getting out of the way of the players on the other team. I mean, they gave up 80 points, guys, in the first half. Do you understand how little defense you have to play on this level to give up that many points? Now, don't get me wrong. Today's NBA is not full of great defenses. People rest on defense. They rely on offense. With the high volume of three-point shooting that we see in today's game, you know that people are going to have these high-scoring games. But when you're a team that's fighting for your life, that fight comes when you get down in the seat and you play defense hard and you put that effort in. Defense is about effort. It is about endurance. And I just don't see it. Now, there are certain moments and glimmers in some of these younger players, but Dwight Howard, my man, I saw people just whizzing by your 7-foot tall behind, and it was like you got out of the way to let them shoot some little easy layups. Like, come on, man. It's heartbreaking to see people wearing the purple and gold, the same purple and gold worn by one of my basketball heroes, Kobe Bryant, and play like this. I mean, it is really and truly just embarrassing, but I digress. So the other big question that people are asking is, because most people have agreed across the board, Lakers fan, LeBron fan or not, that the Lakers are not likely to be of any significance or consequence in the postseason, even if they make it to the play-in tournament. So the other question that people are asking is, should they trade Anthony Davis in the postseason, or look for a trade, or be open to hearing trade possibilities for Anthony Davis? And I'm going to answer this in a way that people might find controversial. I'm going to say absolutely they should hear people out, and I'm going to tell you why. Anthony Davis has been in the league for a while. There is no doubt about the fact that he is a freak, meaning he is really tall, and for someone his height and weight, he's able to do things that traditionally someone his height and weight hasn't done as effectively. So the shooting, the passing, he allegedly played as point guard before he made it to professional basketball. The ball handling, he is very, very good. He ticks all the boxes. He can play defense. He can block. He can play in the perimeter. He has a mid-range game. He can play underneath the basket. He can dunk. He can dribble. He can pass. He can rebound. There really isn't a basketball skill per se that Anthony Davis doesn't have in his repertoire. But here is where we have a challenge. For someone as talented as he is, he's becoming less of an anomaly in the NBA. So you've got Embiid and Jokic and even people like Giannis now all doing the same thing. I just saw Mo Bamba in a couple games back shoot a freaking three-pointer. I mean, the 7-foot tall shooter, I mean, Bol can shoot three-pointers. Bol's one of the tallest people in the NBA. This kid, if you see him behind the three-point line, he could get buckets. So being able to do that does not make you as unique or as much of a standout. Do not get me wrong. It's always going to be hard to guard someone that's that tall that can shoot, because this is part of the reason why Kevin Durant is so unstoppable. It's very hard to block their shot when they reach their hand up like any other shooter and shoot. It's hard to block the shot or defend that without fouling them. And having a versatile enough center who can actually guard people away from the paint is also a challenge, because while these tall guys can shoot and pass, On the other side of the coin, these tall guys that are asked to guard them are not really able to do it that well and are not fully comfortable with it. Secondly, if a short guard like a Chris Paul ends up on a switch and is playing against Anthony Davis, the best that he can do is just get out of the way and make sure he doesn't get injured. But I digress. So I'm just going to say, yes, they do need to consider trading him, because for all of what Anthony Davis has brought to the table, the one thing I've said, and I said this in a video years ago when he was trying to get out of New Orleans, Anthony Davis is not that guy that's going to get you a championship. He is not that guy who's going to make the difference for you to win a championship. He is a great guy to have on your team. Any team in the NBA would be so lucky to have a player like Anthony Davis. But we can see it. He is Robin. He's not Batman. And if you're going to be Robin to LeBron James, you need to be more, at least I would say 75% as durable as he is. He has had these struggles with injury throughout his career. And I'm just going to say something, and I'm standing on this. Anthony Davis needs to lose 25 pounds. People might think I'm crazy. I'm not saying the man's fat, because clearly, look at him, he's not fat. But if you have injury after injury after injury affecting your lower back, your knees, your ankles, all the various areas of Anthony Davis's body that he's struggling with that all are connected to his joints because he is so tall, and we already know players his height have a short shelf life because of joint issues. One of the most effective ways to mediate the likelihood that you're going to have injuries is to drop weight. Period. And Anthony Davis is at a point in his career where he's not young anymore. He's not old anymore. He's not old yet, rather. He needs to lose about 25 pounds so that he can be more durable. And I know I can't be the only person that recognizes this. And we can see it in a lot of different players. We can see it in Embiid. He's dropped a little weight and is paying more attention to his nutrition. Jokic, look at how much more effective he is dropping just a small amount of weight. And Jokic is not the most athletic, physically fit guy I've ever seen, but ultimately doing that one thing can make a huge difference for someone that is that tall to prevent injury. Then we look at someone like KD, who's the greatest example of this. Part of the reason why he was able to bounce back so quickly from the Achilles injury. And when I say bounce back so quickly, and I know y'all gonna say, okay, he was out for almost 2 years, but look at Boogie Cousins. The man has really never truly recovered, and it has to do with weight. KD is so small and lean that he's playing not at the same exact level that he was before the injury, but you just don't see the difference the same way you do in some of these other players who've had that Achilles injury. That's my 2 cents about that. But yes, they should entertain trades for Anthony Davis. I would take 3 players like the ones we see on the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are better than journeymen, guaranteed 20-point per night shooters. I would also take one great player who is more durable. I'm sorry. LeBron James has maybe 2 years left where he could play at the level that he's playing right now. He may shock us and play another 3 years at this level. But what I've seen, and I've watched LeBron throughout his entire career, is that every year these injuries, his ability to play at a high level for 4 straight quarters, that stuff is declining because that's life. We age, we get older. No one can run as fast as they did at age 18, at age 85, at age 45, at age 35. The body deteriorates. You can take great care of your body, but you're still going to age. We're not robots. So putting him next to a guy who isn't as durable as he is, but is 10 years younger than he is definitely not going to put you in a good position in today's NBA, where you have to go up against these younger teams that are showing the league that they're here to stay, and they're not getting out the way, that you will have to contend with them, and you will have to get through them to even make it into the playoffs, especially with the new setup that they have with the play-in tournament going into the playoffs. Who would you take for Anthony Davis? That's what I want to know. Who would you give up, or better yet, let me rephrase. Who would you be willing to give up Anthony Davis for? I'll tell you one person I'd be willing to give up Anthony Davis for. Everyone again will think I'm crazy, but I'd be willing to give up Anthony Davis for Damian Lillard. Hands down. Sorry. He's another person who deals with injury, but the scoring, we need the scoring. They also need to get another player who can play defense well enough in the paint so that LeBron James isn't playing center. Don't get me started. Yeah, I know people are going to fight me on that because Damian Lillard is a downgrade as far as defense is concerned. But Damian Lillard can get you 45 points in one night. Easy stuff for him when he's on. I know he struggled this past year, but I don't think that's indicative of what's going to happen in his future. And I mean, there are a few players in the league. I wouldn't just take, I either need 3 really good players or I need one difference maker that can take the load off of LeBron for scoring and who plays defense well enough. So those are my thoughts. I hope the Lakers make it because I'm a Lakers fan. I was a Lakers fan before LeBron got there, but I'm a huge LeBron fan. I would love to see him give it a shot again this year, but maybe we're saving embarrassment by them not making it. I don't know. But either way, I'm rooting for those guys. We'll see what happens. I think it makes it a lot more interesting if they do make it. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like this video. Subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, comment whether you agree with me or not. Don't forget to share if you care. Stay safe, stay blessed, and I'm out.